I wanted to talk about something that came up last night with a friend that came over. She started doing cakes. I actually didn't know that she was doing cakes. She's actually my husband's best friend's wife, so I don't really keep in touch with her too much. Oh, hi, Shannon. Okay, so this is a cake. I'm talking about cake, like cake that you eat, sir. So you might not want to follow this broadcast. We were talking, she was doing cakes, and they're actually in transition and moving. And she said in Texas, where she was, people didn't want to pay what her cakes were worth. And so I took a look at her work, and she does really great buttercream work. And if anybody of you know that I love buttercream cakes, I prefer them. That doesn't mean that I don't love to make a nice fondant cake, because I enjoy those as well. But when I was talking to her, I noticed that she was trying to do like different cakes, like a car cake or a fondant covered cake, and all these different kinds of cakes. And she's still fairly new, but her buttercream was really great. And I was like, why don't you just do buttercream? And I said, why do you have to do all these different kinds of cakes? She's like, well, I want to look into doing structure cakes. And I said, why? Are the people in your area going to pay for a structure cake? What it costs? What it really costs? And she's like, probably not. I said, then why are you doing those cakes? Unless you really, really want to. But my point to her was to stay in her cake lane. And what I mean by that, everyone, is if you are really good at something, like if you're really good at buttercream cakes and you really don't like fondant, then guess what? You do not have to drive in the fondant lane. You can actually just perfect your buttercream skills. Get really great at buttercream. Maybe she wants to see if she could drive in that. Here's the thing. If you want to, and I believe I said that already, if you want to, then great. But she was struggling. And a lot of people struggle with wanting to do certain things. I, for instance, struggle with making them damn figures. Lucy Cake Designs, Natalie, does great at them. And so does Liz Merrick and lots of other people. But those freaking darn figures with faces and trying to match something to an actual real character like Nemo, I maybe can do a Nemo. But like Elsa, I don't want to go on the Elsa train, but you know what I'm saying. I really suck at them, and my heart palpitates. I'm nervous. I end up redoing it like 50 million times. In my opinion, they don't look as great as I've seen other people do, and I don't like that. I think this is a good topic because I think a lot of people, when we're first starting off, they think they have to do everything. They think they have to do a cake that stands on its head. I think everybody thinks they have to do these topsy-turvy fondant cake leaning over to its side, a big fat elephant standing on its tippy toes. There are people like Mike McCrary. There are people like Elizabeth Merrick, Cara Andretta. There are people that can do these sort of cakes. But I think what they also maybe haven't necessarily told you is that they think about this stuff all night long, and they actually go and invest some of their money and a whole lot of their time, and they test and they play and they figure it out. I don't actually have all that kind of time. I have 3 kids, and I can't always do those sort of experiments. A lot of these other cake artists, and especially Liz just stopped making cakes for clients. She's now dedicating all of her time to teaching, which means she's giving up more of her time just in figuring out new techniques that she can bring to you. You can't always just compete with people that that's what they do, is cake. You know, if you're just starting out and you've got jobs, you've got kids, you've got other bills that need to be paid, stick to something you're good at. If making cake pops is what you're good at, just do cake pops and be the best damn cake popper in your area. In the beginning, you have to test it out, but I hope that in the beginning you're not selling. I am referring to people who are ready to sell and make some sort of earnings from their cakes. In the beginning, I did not sell my stuff, but I made a whole lot of everything, and I realized what I was good at, and I am good at buttercream, and I am now good at fondant. You have to find yourself, yes you do, but you don't have to do that by offering up to customers what they want and you're not comfortable making. So I am not talking about getting started and figuring out where you land. I am talking about taking on orders on things that you're not comfortable with making. Like for me, figures and cake pops. And now I really don't care to do cookies. I tried that. Anybody tried cookies and it's just like getting the royal icing and practice and study and be honest with your abilities. It's hard to realize that when we see such amazing cool cakes. Yes, a lot of people start this as hobbies. They just want to try cool things, take classes. Liz just did an awesome Periscope on cake classes, and go take them. Invest your money in that and realize what you're good at. But once you find what you're good at, stay in that lane. You don't have to deviate from that lane unless you really want to. I know if I ever want a really awesome buttercream cake for my wedding, and I live in the Kansas City area, I know who I'm going to. Hello, Shannon. I'm going to Shannon. Why? Because that's what she puts up. She puts up the best, most gorgeous buttercream cakes on her website. And you don't see much else on her website. I mean, no, she does fondant too. But my point is, she does a particular style. When you see a Shannon Bond cake, you know it's Shannon Bond because her style is very similar. Her cakes are very different, but they're very similar if you look at them. You also, Hey There Cupcake, same thing. She does very specific style. You know her style, and all her cakes are amazing. Find your style. That's it. That's all I'm saying. Stay in your cake lane, people. You don't have to stress yourself out. You can start earning money by doing what you do best. So if what you do best is making delicious dessert cakes with like little strawberries on top and some chocolate sprinkles, and it just looks like a yummy cake you see in the bakery case, and you just want one of those, just sell those for now until you get better, and then learn a technique on the side. Anyway, anybody have anything to say and questions about that? Because I really believe that once you know what you're good at and you stick to it, that's where you should stay and be okay with that. And when you figure out how to be better at something else and you want to add that to what you do and what you offer to clients, then you do that. But in the meantime, if someone asks you to make a bobblehead cake or whatever, and you're like, I don't even know what a PVC pipe is, guess what? You should say no. And instead, you should make a round cake and put a bobblehead figure on, a flat figure on top, and say, I can do that for you. You're so stressed when you do cakes or if in your comfort zone. Well, why are you doing cakes if it's stressing you out? That's my question to you. Why? Are you needing to do cakes to make money? Don't let it stress you out. If you're not making a cake, If you want to learn how to make a cake, experiment with your family. People who are not going to sue you for ruining their cake and taking their money. Never experiment on a client's cake. Why? Here's why. Here's why you never experiment on a client's cake. It may turn into a disaster. A disaster. And you know that cake is at an event where people are invited and there's tons of people coming and tons of people are going to see your cake and tons of people are going to eat your cake and then tons of people are going to say, where'd you get the cake? Ooh, where'd you get, oh, that cake. Ooh, Lord, that cake is a hot mess. Where'd you get that cake? So I know not to go there. So, stay in your cake lane. If you're good at this, do that. If you're good at figures, do figures. And let me know because I'll order some from you. If you're good at flowers, do flowers. If you're good at just doing a clean cake, everybody, first of all, everybody, if you're doing a cake, you should learn how to do a basic round cake and make it clean. Hi, Minette. I'm talking about staying in their cake lane. So, saying, pick what you're good at. Learn that. Learn that till you need to now learn something else because you've perfected that so well. Oh, your cake was a disaster. Your figure fell. See, don't do that. That's embarrassing. And it's more stressful. Now you have to reclaim your name or something. Yes, people do expect you to know everything if you're charging them. So don't charge them and just do it for close friends and family who won't tear you down if the cake turns out not so nice. See, Karen Portaleo says she doesn't make her own flowers. That woman, even she knows her lane. Okay, broadcast is over. Broadcast is over now. Done. Even Karen Portaleo doesn't stress herself out and make them stinking flowers, which Minette Rushing does the most gorgeous flowers out there. Why does Minette Rushing do gorgeous flowers? Because Minette Rushing likes doing them and she does them all the time and she's good at them because why? She stayed in her cake lane and then she went on to something else. She perfected one thing and then she went on to something else. If you don't know how to make a stacked cake look gorgeous, seamless, cylinder, perfect smooth icing, sharp edges if that's what you like, why are you learning how to make a car cake? And I'll end this on this point. When I say stay in your cake lane, how about pick a cake lane and drive the hell out of that one before you switch lanes? Is that a good one? So, if you're in the slow lane, stay in the slow lane. If you're in the middle lane, go ahead. And if you want to move on over to the fast lane, then you do that. But whatever lane you're in, just stay there and enjoy it. Sound good? Thumbs up? Hearts? Bye, guys. Happy caking. Happy Wednesday. Baking day.